All right, welcome back to the another episode of the Schanne podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Schanne. Let's get down to it. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is I, I just sat back and I watched the Sixers lose a couple nights ago. Very disappointed in the loss, but just a great shot came from Kawhi Leonard that night. To seal the deal for the Raptors. Sixers should have had it in the final minutes. Their game plan was complete and utter trash that night. They just didn't put together a great run there in the span of a couple minutes. The real big thing was how small the rebounding came up between the big man of Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. They should not be getting out rebounded by Kyle Lowry at any point in the game. Definitely something they'll have to work on the next couple of years coming up. But really what I wanted to talk about is the trade rumors of Ben Simmons and the trade rumor that just came out today of trading Joel Embiid and building around Ben Simmons. I think that one's utter garbage to even put out there. No way is Embiid going to get traded at any point in his career by the Sixers. They're going to lock him down for. They already locked him down, I believe, for a big term deal, or maybe it's this year. I'm not sure. But actually, I'll look that up real fast. But Ben Simmons might get traded at the end of maybe next year or the following year, because I can see the Sixers finally getting enough with him not being able to develop his shot. That's just a big one when it came to beating the Raptors, was his inability to make any buckets outside of probably 2 centimeters between him and the basket, which is, when you're a one-trick pony in the pros, they're going to watch the tape, and they are going to adjust accordingly. But yeah, their game plan definitely should have involved Joel Embiid being down low instead of being up at the 3-point line. He wasn't making them all game, and then all of a sudden they were expecting him to, I guess, make every 3-pointer that the Raptors let him have. But I mean, when you're average from the 3-point line, I mean, it's not really gonna help you. That's not really gonna help you win a basketball game. But also too, on his side, you should be able to make those shots coming down the wire. But yeah, Kawhi's shot was definitely legendary. That's one of the best shots I ever seen a person make over a 7-footer like Embiid. It's just, it's hard to swallow. This loss, definitely something that the Sixers don't take into next season. But everyone was calling for Brett Brown's to have his job, for him to be fired at the end of the season. I think he just coached his way into another year, for several reasons. He forced it to again. He had the team ready and forced it to the Game 7. They could have lost in Game 6, and quite frankly, they probably should have lost in Game 6. But due to them being prepared and ready for the Raptors' counteracts, they never got within 8 points of the lead in the Game 6. So, it's pretty difficult for the Raptors to do anything but with that, especially when they weren't shooting well, by the way. But yeah, they had the Ben Simmons just came up small yet again. It just wasn't gonna work. Especially since he really can't shoot anything above his range. Um, it's just really difficult for him. He should be able to get outside and be able to shoot the occasional three and be able to shoot the a fallback jumper or something that's going to be um, something that's going to be effective for them in the offense. Because they could have done some pick and rolls with Ben Simmons and benefit Simmons' speed and length. Nobody's going to block or be able to keep up with him off of a screen. Joel Embiid did sign his 5-year contract last year, which is insane for him. Can't wait to see him being locked down. He's going to be locked down for the next decade or however long he stays in the NBA with the Sixers. Like I said, so all right. Since I think that's it with the Sixers. Yeah, but kudos to the Raptors for sealing the victory, and I look forward to seeing them take on the Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is a great player. He's definitely I think he should be MVP this year. I want him to be MVP this year, and it's gonna be hard to argue that. So yeah, next thing I wanted to talk about was Denver. Just passed to decriminalize magic mushrooms. This is just something I had on my tab. Tonight I was reading up on it. They just barely passed it, and it's the first state to decriminalize it. It's still illegal to do it there. You just you just gotta do it at I guess at your house or something like that. Just not you can't you can't be out on the streets doing that because you can still get arrested. But there's a lot of health concern. Magic mushrooms are apparently they've been saying a reset to depressed brains. Like there's a lot of things that are that are benefits, but until it gets legalized, which I don't know if it will, since this just barely got passed. I don't know if it will actually become legal. If it does, apparently they're looking to sell it at their cannabis businesses. It would be just like that. And if you've ever been to Colorado, I have been, and been to a cannabis store. Cannabis stores in Colorado are kind of like these doctor offices, and they're really nice. In the front, you have the waiting room. Obviously, they'll call up your name when they're ready to take you in the back, and you get to pick whatever you want: edible, flower, pre-rolled, whatever you are into, and it's all government. They portion it out properly for you, so you don't over intake yourself. Well, necessarily, it's still your call whether to take too much or not. But yeah, they said, they're definitely saying that no one gets to jail. No one should, lose their jobs or anything over this anymore. So there's definitely some potential benefits here for yet again for Colorado, and specifically Denver area. Should be pretty cool. Alright, moving on. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to talking about some beer knowledge here. We're gonna do some English style IPAs, or ESB as the short for them. Flying Fish did a great ESB. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it. It was one of the best English style pale ales I ever had. These guys are, ESB stands for Extra Special Bitter. Just for knowledge sake, you don't have to know that off the top of your head. It's got malt and it's got the hop bitterness, like almost kind of like an IPA, not like an IPA. The IPA's got like that real bitterness. It's just a little bit of bitterness to it, but the malt really picks it up. And it's just so flavorful and aroma. It has it lends to have a fruitiness to the aroma and to aromas and flavor, referred to as esters. Residual malt and defining sweetness of this rich flavored, full body bitter is medium to medium high. So, like I said, it's normally one of my favorite type of beer. But I do like it served cold. Unlike on this website, they're saying that you're supposed to serve it between 50 and 55 degrees for it. I like mine at a nice 32. Not into really cold to warm beer like this. I don't know why people find those really, really nice to drink at all. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's do this one. Alright. Well, I did that. American wheat. We did that on the last podcast, all the wheat ales we covered. Alright, we need to go to IPAs next. But yeah, English ales tend to be like that, where they tell you to serve it at the temperature of like really, really warm, disgustingly warm, to be honest. It is definitely not my favorite to serve it that warm, but but yeah, they're really good. I like the pale ales. The ESBs are really, really good. And yet again, it's low in alcohol percentage, so that's always a positive for this time of the year. Alright. So, now we're going to go to the German style Doppelbock. This beer is really, really good. I recommend, if you can go to a liquor store at any point in the winter time, or in the fall /winter, go to the liquor store and look for Einstock. They make one of the best Doppelbocks I think I've ever had, and it is an Icelandic company, and it's just super, super good. Definitely has all the flavors that you're looking for in a standard Doppelbock. Nothing fancy, just like your standard. But it's just really, really good for me. So Doppelbock, obviously Doppel is meaning double. It's a bigger, stronger version of a lower gravity German style Bock beer. Originally made by monks in Munich. The Doppelbock beer style is food friendly, rich in well, I not gonna say that on here. And remnants of toasted bread. Color is copper to brown. Like I said, I think the one I had that I said on stock is definitely a more paler color than the darker ones. Malty sweetness is dominant, but should not be cloying. Malt character is more reminiscent of fresh and lightly toasted Munich malt, more so than caramel or toffee malt. Doppelbocks are full-bodied, and alcohol strength is on the higher end. Is definitely on the higher end. It's about 6 to 7.9%, and they normally get served in a tulip glass, and it's normally 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Because it's a European country, yet again, they like their beer cold, or warm, sorry, because they're weird. Sorry for anyone that's in Europe, but I just that's just I don't know. I've been to Europe. They don't normally serve it warm over there, but it's definitely a stereotype. But yet again, it is not my favorite. Okay, moving on to the next one. Dang it! Why did they knock me out of my box? Alright. Going on. Alright, we'll do the German style Bock next. Since this is your traditional Bock beer, and all malts are high and are high in malt sweetness. Malt character should be a balance of sweetness and toasted nut-like malt. That's something I didn't know. Bock translates as goat. Did not know that. Don't know why that's a don't know why they named it then like that. Then I guess maybe the Gouda beer. Maybe it's the Tom Brady beer. that would be weird. Only people in Massachusetts would like that. But yet again, it's the same thing. Darker color, light on the low on the bitterness, high on the malt flavor, and yet again 6.3 to 7.5 in alcohol percentage. Yet again, tulip glass at 45 to 50 degrees. But all right, let's do a couple more here. Right, let's do a Pilsner. Pilsners. Because I don't think I did any Pilsners here. Alright, we'll do a German style Pilsner, and then I'll go into the German style lager, or Hell's Lager. They're basically the same type of beer. Obviously, German style Pilsners are the most iconic beer. It is legit your stereotypical. If you were to say, hey, what does a beer look like? You would draw a German style Pilsner. It's got that nice, nice head in the Pilsner glass with the nice light golden color. It's got a multi sweetness, which is a great way to put it, and that can be perceived in the aroma and flavor. Perception of bitterness is medium to high. Yeah, it can get a little high, I guess. Noble type hop aroma and flavor are moderate to quite obvious. Distinctly different than Bohemian style Pilsners, which is very true. This is the style, is lighter in color and body, and has a lower perceived hop bitterness. Yet again, this is going to be a light looking beer, so you're not going to, it doesn't have a whole lot of malt in it. Doesn't have a whole lot, it's not brewed with like chocolate and stuff like some stouts. It's going to be medium in the bitterness and low alcohol percentage, 4.6 to 5.3. And food pairing is shellfish, chicken, salads, white cheddar, and shortbread cookies. So if you're looking for something to pair in the fall, I guess, when the Girl Scout cookies are around and those shortbreads are being handed to you, just think of a German Pilsner. It also gets a 40 to 45 degree serving temperature, and it's a Pilsner glass, like I said. Victory makes a good one. There's a lot of other really good ones out there. There's just too many Pilsners to think off the top of your head. I believe, I think Double Nickel makes a good one. Flying Fish, I don't think has a Pilsner, but they have a lager. Flying Fish. Alright. Righty here, let's go to the next. Let's go to the other. Since they brought up the other, we'll do the Bohemian style Pilsner since they brought it up here. Bohemian style Pilsner has a slightly sweet and effeminate malt character and a toasted biscuit like bready malt character. Hop bitterness is perceived as medium with a low to medium level of noble type hop aroma and flavor. This style originated in 1842 with Pilsner as its name, originally indicating a appellation. However you wanna, I don't know. It's in the Czech Republic. Classic examples of the style beer was to be conditioned in wooden tanks. Obviously, the alcohol percentage is going to be low, color is going to be light, and your bitterness is going to be towards the middle. Very similar to the other one, but this one has a lower alcohol percentage than the German one, 4.1 to 5.1%. So this is more like what you get in America here. Oscar Blues makes a good one. And yet again, it's the same food pairings, so remember that when you're grabbing your shortbread cookies or your white cheddar. Maybe you go to Panera Bread and pick up their mac and cheese. You never know. Also served in a flute glass. So there's that. Alright. Let's try one of these. Alright. We already did one. Ooh. One of my favorites. This is a Irish style red beer. I had this in Wisconsin. I think it was Badger Brewing Company makes a very good Irish style red ale. It was 7%, I believe. It's a higher alcohol percentage beer. Really, really good. Definitely gives you that caramel and toffee flavor. It's sometimes it's got a really, really low level of butter in there too. You don't really taste it, but you can, that's how they get everything to mash down together. Beer style as a cousin to lightly toasted and butter bread, which is the regular Irish ale. That's what they were talking about. Alright, let's see here. Irish style red ales are an approachable style for people who are new to craft beer, but also enjoy and appreciate it by even the most discerning of craft beer enthusiasts. These beers are this beer is normally connected to St. Patrick's Day, which is Killian's is like this, but they always it's Irish style, just like this beer here. But yeah, exactly. They're not. It's not like the American version of the Irish Red Ale. So yeah, that's why they call this one the hybrid beer, because it's in the middle of everything. The color's gonna be towards the middle of the dark scale. Bitterness, but is going to be on the lower end, and alcohol percentage is normally at the lower end, except if you go to Wisconsin. I think everything's just higher in alcohol percentage out there. Yet again, they want the beer to be served at 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should be served in a nonic pint, basically a pint glass that has a fat neck to it, so it can properly form that head, and it will be about a half inch of head if poured correctly. Great Lakes makes a good one. I believe there was one, I think, what should I call it? PJ's, no, not PJ, what was it? BJ's out in Denver, Colorado. They made a excellent one. It was actually one of their house brews, and it was superb. Alright, that's going to be the end of that segment of beer styles. Now we're going to go on to home brewing. Now this is where I love doing home brewing. I think it's a great idea. I've done it a couple times. First time we did it, it came out alright. And what came out a lot better, we took our time a little bit more. But everything's been but ever since then we got it all down packed for it. I'll just tell you some of the benefits of brewing your own beer is definitely only a limited amount of time needed to brew your own beer. Most of the time it's the fermenting process, which you don't have to watch. You only have to schedule a few hours every time out of the week to brew about 5 gallons of your favorite beer. You guys just gotta make sure you do, like I said, take your time with it. Don't, it's always quality over quantity. It's just like, if you're a chef, even if you have to bang something out in under a couple minutes, you gotta make sure it looks nice, that it looks presentable. So you're gonna take that extra, and even if you have to take that extra minute or so, you're gonna do that to make it look nicer. Just like in craft beer, you gotta you have to go down your list of ingredients. You gotta go down, make sure you get everything just right. There's no way of pulling something out. Like if a chef makes a mistake, throws croutons on crouton salad, he can just pull it off. But if you throw in a little extra malt, guess what? That malt's in there. You can't pull it out. So that's definitely a positive to homebrewing. Homebrewing does open up a lot of imagination. So if you like to imagine what your beer is going to look like, then you can go out and you can look at different styles of beer. There's plenty of websites to give you that kind of stuff. I was just on one. I'll say the name after this segment. Homebrewed beers to contain large quantity of yeast with vitamin B, which reduces the effect of a hangover naturally. So if you are drinking beer, you won't get as bad of a hangover if you drink all 12 of your beer, unless you don't let it ferment for the appropriate amount of time. then of course you're going to get a higher percentage beer and more with less vitamin B, and you'll end up having a serious hangover.